So today is Wednesday, the 16th rather of July 2025. Good morning, Bankole Kayode. We're having our morning analysis. Now, there are just a few fundamental events for today. The first one already took place at 7 a.m., and that's from the United Kingdom. Good morning, Madam Monaji. That's CPI, Consumer Price Index from the United Kingdom. We had CPI yesterday from United States, but the data wasn't as volatile as expected. So if you join the live trading session, you discover that the entries were not triggered because the volatility was quite low. But then the UK version was released this morning. That was before we started the analysis, and the actual came out greater than the forecast, which obviously will have led to some bullish movement on the GBP pairs. We'll check them in the course of this analysis. So the next fundamental event will come up by 1:30 p.m. and that will be core PPI and PPI monthly from the United States by 1:30 p.m. So without taking our time, we'll just go straight to the chart to look at what the market is saying technically for today. All right, so this is what we have on the chart today. I'll start with the card JPY. Now, there seems to be a lot of activity around the Japanese yen pairs, and that might be reflected in how the market moves today. So this is the card JPY on the daily time frame. We can see price hitting a key level, a previous support turned resistance, and price seems to be touching the tip of that level again. As at this morning, price is testing that level. When it's touching it like that, we say it's testing that level, and currently looks as if price is trying to form a kind of rejection candle. Now that's actually too early to determine because the day is just starting and this is a daily time frame. But notwithstanding, the mere fact that price is able to test that level is an indication that there could be a potential reversal. So if we flip back to the 4-hour time frame, this is what we have. We have price close to the tip. So we can have our trend line this way and have a second one the other way around. All right. So we'll be anticipating price to break out downwards in the course of today. So we're bearish on the card JPY. And in the same vein, we are also bearish on the AUD JPY. So the Japanese pairs, like I said, they are the instruments of interest today. For the AUD JPY, we can clearly see that on the 1-hour time frame, there's already a resistance level being formed. Not only that, we are equally seeing what is looking at the moment like a double top pattern where this area is the neckline, and if price breaks out from there, we anticipate a bearish breakout. Also, we have a trend line right here, which is very much in line with what we've drawn earlier, and the second one at the back to give it a rising wedge pattern. But then if you also take it to the daily time frame, we can clearly see also that price is trading around a resistance level on the daily time frame. This is the resistance, price hitting a previous resistance, a previous high to form a resistance. So if you take it down to the 1 hour, this is what we have. We have price hitting a resistance on the daily time frame, a rising wedge, and a potential double top pattern. So if price breaks out below the neckline region, which is this area here, then that will indicate a movement downwards, a new candle below that area, then we'll see the bearish flow on the AUD JPY. So we're bearish on the AUD JPY for the course of today. And likewise, we're bearish on the Euro JPY. You can see the Euro JPY, we already have a rising wedge pattern, perfectly formed there. And again, if you take it to the daily time frame, okay, I think monthly. If you take it to the monthly time frame, we can see that price is trading around a resistance level on the monthly time frame. So we have a resistance on the monthly, and we have a rising wedge on the 1 hour time frame. So we'll also be anticipating a bearish breakout on this one. I'm seeing something else also. So if you take it down to let's go to the 30 minutes time frame, and possibly 15 minutes. I'm seeing what is looking like a head and shoulder forming. Yeah, shoulder, a head. Price may retest this resistance, then drop from there. But either way it goes, like I always tell us, we don't need to be hung up on patterns. If it forms, perfect. If it doesn't, not no, no problem. We just still look out for the breakout. That's what is most important. So, and another thing I will hate that breakout is you can see we have a perfect rejection candle here, which means that the sellers are actually taking over the market. So technically, we're looking for a bearish breakout on the Euro JPY to trigger a sell on this instrument in the course of today. So for the JPY pairs, we're bearish on the CAD JPY, we're bearish on the AUD JPY, and we're bearish on the uh, Euro JPY. Those are the three major pairs we are looking at trading in the course of today. Now, I mentioned that for the GBP, we just had CPI from the United Kingdom, and this could impact upon the GBP, the British pound pairs. Now, one of the instruments that has been impacted by this event this morning is the GBP card. Now, this is the GBP card on the 1 hour time frame. you know Now the effect of that news wasn't much. If you remember, the news came out good for the pound. Let's go back to Forex Factory. The data came out good. Actual came out greater than the forecast. So when we have actual greater than forecast, that is expected to lead to a bullish movement. So I'll flip back again to the charts now. And on the chart, we can see that the GBP card, hit a support zone earlier. This is a support. I'll draw it afresh. Usually what we do at support is I will look for opportunity to buy around support area. Support area is that area where price is very cheap, and it's an indication of a place to look for buying opportunities. Now, you can see here price hitting the support and already having a form of reversal that is giving us an inverse head and shoulder outlook. But again, the volatility has not been much from the news, though the technicals, I strongly believe the technicals will take over, possibly in the course of the day. So we can draw our trend line there, and draw a second one at the back to give us a falling wedge pattern. So we have price hitting a support level on the daily time frame with an inverse head and shoulder pattern being formed. Now RSI is still below 50, so we need to just obey that one before we trigger a buy. That's if you want to trade it. Otherwise, we may just trade the CAD JPY, which is bearish. And we should not forget the fact that I said support turned resistance here. So when we have a new candle open above the support resistance zone, at that point, our RSI should have completely crossed above 50. And if you want to trade the GBP card, that would be a perfect time to trigger a buy on the GBP card. All right, so we're bullish on the GBP card, in the course of today. All right, so that's going to be all I'll share with us this morning. And I also want to bring an update. Sometime, I think it was last week, I dropped an analysis on Euro USD. If you check the group, I showed us how price, after breaking out from this region, I expect it to drop to this support resistance turn support zone. And that has already happened, just in line with the analysis. And this has generated a total of about 128 pips thereabout on Euro USD. In my view, in my analysis, I believe the next wave of movement for the Euro USD will be a break into the bullish direction. Though there may be a retracement before that happens, but ultimately, I believe the next wave of movement for Euro USD will be bullish because price is climbing higher. We're having the higher high and the higher low, and we have a higher high, a higher low, a higher high, a higher low. So the next movement will be a higher high into the bullish direction. So I hold a bullish outlook on the Euro USD after price has done what we anticipated it to do by dropping into tune of about 128 pips, and next wave we anticipate is a movement in the bullish direction. All right, that's going to be all from my end this morning. I'll take some of the requests that have been dropped here. Oyelo is asking me to check EuroCAD. All right, so this is EuroCAD on the daily time frame. Let's start from the weekly time frame. Okay, preferably from the monthly. On the monthly time frame, we can see that there is a big resistance zone up there on the monthly, the ash colored rectangle box. That's the resistance, and price has been trading around that resistance for a while now. So that with that resistance, we can also see we are having a rising wedge pattern, and price, these are higher lows, higher low, higher low. Now the next thing here is that price will drop to this higher low where we have a previous resistance turn support. So if price drops to this higher low region and we have the confluence of resistance turned support, then from there we can anticipate a break back to the upside. That's my view on the euro card. Price needs to drop. So I don't know what direction you're on if you have a trade already. If you are on a sell, I will suggest you hold on with your sell. If you're on a sell, just hold on. But if you are already on a buy, that may not be the direction for now until price drops to this support level, because currently price has broken a previous support on the daily time frame. It's already trading below the daily support on the daily time frame. This support area here, price has broken that level. So what we are looking at is a drop to this region, then a break to the upside. So that's my view on the euro card. And another person is asking about AUD card. Bankole card, I didn't mention GBP JPY in my analysis. I only talked about CAD JPY, Euro JPY, and AUD JPY. Okay, you're lower, you're in a sell. Okay, if you're in a sell, that's good. Just also make sure to mitigate any risk. Make sure you have a stop loss in place. That's very important. Make sure you have a stop loss in place. All right. So Ayomiko on the Nike is asking about AUD card, and Emmanuel is asking about gold. So let's check the AUD card. Before I check AUD card, just let me respond to the person asking about GBP JPY. Now, please don't always have this view that once they say that GBP, JPY pairs are this, then it means all of them. It doesn't always work like that. You have to trade the specific ones that are ready to be traded. There's nothing like it cuts across, except probably during fundamental release. Even at that, it doesn't mean all of them will react the same way at the same time. Some have a higher probability of going in the present direction than others. For now, there is more uh, probability on the CAD JPY, Euro JPY, and the AUD JPY. Now, for GBP JPY, price indeed is trading at a resistance level. But in the last couple of like a week to 2 weeks now, GBP JPY has not been very stable. Even though technically things may look right, but then somehow, price has not just been going as expected or goes extremely very slow. So this is what I would say. Though price is at a resistance level on GBJPY, but then you still have to exercise a lot of caution and a lot of patience in trying to trade this particular pair. Don't just dump a sell on it like that. You need to wait for clarity. Very, very important. Even the ones I mentioned, I didn't say you should jump into a sell. I've only analyzed the direction. You need to wait for clear entry before you place any trade. But that being said, for GBJPY, this is what I'm seeing on 15 minutes time frame. Price is at a resistance level, and I'm seeing the possibility of a head and shoulder with the neckline. But then you may just wait for price to break below the neckline and scalp, because that's what I'm seeing here. We have a minor support there. So you may just, if you want to take it at all, it has to be a sell, and you're only looking for some 20 pips and you are out. So it's not a trade you want to stay long into. So wait clearly for price to break below this neckline and trigger a sell to the next low, and you are out of it. So that's the view I have for the GBP JPY. All right, back to AUD card. For AUD card, also price hit a resistance, and we have a minor downward trend here. I believe if this is going to buy at all, price needs to test the trend line. Let's go down to 4-hour time frame. So price might need to drop to test the trend line before bouncing back into the bullish direction. So you may need to patiently wait for a drop, a test, then a breakout in the upside for AUD card. Then finally we have gold. I remember giving my outlook on gold. I think that should be on Monday. And from the analysis, gold was to drop. I said if you remember clearly, you can watch that video. I said I was seeing price selling first before in the short term, before going to the bullish direction for the bull run. So we can clearly see that price has sold just in line with the analysis I gave on the short term. Yeah, we saw it move up first, but then in moving it upwards, after that, we can see clearly that price broke out into a sell. And let's check the current status if we have a high level of probability for the bull movement. Be honest, there is no stable setup for gold at the moment. Possibly in the course of the day, if we see a clear setup, we'll let you know. Currently, there's none. I can't see any clarity around gold at the moment. All right, so that'll be all from the analysis this morning. For those who came in, who joined us late, I'll just do a little recap. We analyzed about four instruments this morning from my end. We looked at the CAD JPY. I said I'm bearish on CAD JPY, I'm bearish on Euro JPY, I'm bearish on AUD JPY, and I'm bullish on GBP CAD. All of them on 1 hour time frame. And I also give you the update on the setup I gave on Euro USD. That was sometime last week, which has come in line with analysis. And I said the next phase of movement for the Euro USD is in the bullish direction. All right. So the link to this video will be dropped in your respective groups. You can watch it again to gain insights into how we have analyzed and how you can adopt that as part of your trading strategy. So don't forget to join us by 12:30 p.m. this afternoon for the afternoon session analysis, which is going to be we're focusing a lot on the fundamentals because fundamental analysis, I mean, there's going to be news released by 1:30 p.m. from the United States. All right, do take care and have a great day ahead. Bye bye. Yes, ma'am, Madam Manager, have a great day, ma'am.